Hello everyone, it's Kari. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I have this cute stamp set from Stamping Bella. This is the butterfly, Tiny Townie BRIANNA the butterfly. And I also have the sentiment set that goes with it. And I thought it would be really fun to play with this today and show you how to add some extra details. Now these stamps are foam stamps, meaning they're on foam. So when you use the MISTI, you can take out that extra foam piece in order to stamp with them. They still do stick on the back, so they are perfect for using your MISTI still, as long as you take out that extra foam pad. And then you can double stamp it, which I'm doing here. I'm using VersaFine Onyx black ink, which I love to use, especially when I'm going to be doing some watercoloring, and also when I'm going to be doing some heat embossing. Today I decided to go ahead and heat emboss this with some clear embossing powder, and that way as I do the watercoloring you will see that it does stay a little more inside the lines of where I want it to be, so it just helps out a little bit there. I like to create a little bit of a well. For this one I am using Bristol smooth paper because I'm going to be using some Zig Clean Color Real brush markers, and those work really well on Bristol paper. They seem to move a lot better on this smooth paper. It feels like it has a little bit of a coating, but it's not waxy, it's just really, really smooth. So the sentiment set has some really great sentiments. I'm going to read some of those to you, but first I wanted to show you, this is how I keep my zigs. I just keep them in a clear container here, and I have the swatches all done. I printed this off from their website, and then I just swatched all the colors so that I can see what they look like in real life on Bristol paper. So that's what's helping me to create this today. I also have some water brushes here, and I'm going to be using this medium-sized one. To start off, I am going to make the ground that she is on, and I'm going to use this olive color. Now I probably won't list all the colors that I've used for the zigs because I just picked out a lot of rainbow colors. I wanted to start off making this set. I wanted to create kind of like a green. I was in a green mood. I actually think I did this before St. Patrick's Day, so I had green on my mind. Notice my rainbow fingernails, and so this was going to become a green card, and then it turned into a rainbow card, and then it turned into a little bit of a stormy background because of everything that's going on in the world right now. So you can watch and see how this evolves over a period of time here. I'm choosing some greens and yellows and blues now to start out with the wings. I'm going to show you some really fun ways to add some more detail when you're making a card like this. It's going to be a very simple card, but when you add all these details, it really does add quite a bit of interest. Now I do have a little confession to make. I had a hard time creating this last week because of everything going on. I am in Arizona, and we are just directed to keep a social distance from other people and to work at home if possible. I do work at home most of the time, so this wasn't a big change for me, but there was a lot of changes in my family with my kids that live here with us and my husband's job, and there was just a lot going on. Also, some worry on my part. I think that this could have been a really good live video. Truthfully, I've never done a live YouTube before. I've done a live Instagram, but not on YouTube, and so that would have been fun for me to try. But I was kind of playing around. I was having a hard time getting into it because I was just thinking too much. How are you doing? What's going on where you live? We probably, like most of the United States and maybe the world, we have a hard time finding toilet paper here. Most stores are closed that are non-essential stores. Restaurants are closed mainly for dining in, but you can still order takeout and take it to go. We just recently got a Chick-fil-A right near our house, and we were so excited about it. We actually have eaten there one time before this all started, and then really shortly thereafter this all started, and they are now only open in the drive-through. So you can pick up your food. The lines are crazy long, as they have been since they opened, and so just plan on spending an extra 30 to 40 minutes in line waiting for your food. Anyway, you can see that I'm going from some yellows to greens to blues. I'm going to start in with some more blues here. And a lot of the time I will take the zigs and I'll use the water brush to kind of blend that out. And you'll see in the next section I'm going to do that with the lighter blues as well. But some of the time I just use the zigs directly to the paper and blend it out with another color of zig. So try this, have a little bit of fun at home playing around with this, and here on this section you can see that I did blend a lighter color into the darker color. I got a little too much there. Every once in a while I will dab it off with this towel, or I will take my brush and kind of clean it off to the side there. So when you don't see my brush, then usually I'm wiping it off into the towel or off onto the side so that I don't get too much color for the blend. So this is really fun to do and a really relaxing technique. This probably took me over an hour to make this entire card. So I did edit it down quite a bit. You can see I'm just going to go through quickly some of these parts here. So I edited it down to less than half. So you're welcome for that. Although I do miss a little bit of the interaction. So a live would have been really fun to try out and see if I could have got some people to talk to me about what's going on in their part of the world. So here we have some light purples. Now I'm going from yellows to greens to blues to purples. So you see we have a little bit of a rainbow going on here. And the fun thing about butterflies, actually, this is fun in card making in general. You can color anything, any color you absolutely want to. It doesn't have to be real life. It can be in your imagination coming to life on the paper. And that's one of the things I really love about creating and crafting, even though lately it has been a little bit of a challenge for me. So that's why I love this crafty community. I love all of the support. I love the opportunity to create something that may not have existed before. And it's so wonderful. So you can see I'm adding a little more color, darkness, and depth to this butterfly, to the wings, before I move on to the rest of the image. And most of the time I'm going to be using the water brush. So relaxing. If you haven't tried zigs, it is one of my favorite mediums. I would say Copics and zigs are right up there. I like watercoloring a little bit too, but I'm still practicing that. I feel like zigs are a little bit easier than just watercoloring alone. I think they offer just a little more ease. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now. I do like to try watercoloring and no-line watercoloring, but sometimes I just want something easy that I don't really have to think about, and that's when I go to my zigs. So here I'm just adding a little bit of color. I think this is either flesh tone or blush color that I'm adding to her legs here and her face. I did add some blush to her cheeks as well. And look how she's just coming to life in living color. This is such a cute image. If I remember, I'll link it below for you so you can find it. I wasn't able to find it in a lot of the stores, but I'll link directly to Stamping Bella so you can see this stamp set. She has a lot of other ones as well that are just as cute and really fun images to color. I love these images. So here you can see I'm just making some little kind of circular marks with this dark brown. I wanted it to look like curly hair still. So instead of just coloring it flat, I'm just making some little circular curly cues here with this one, and then I'll go in with this oatmeal color and add some more circular curly cues which helps to blend out that darker brown, but also keeps the curly look to the hair. I really like this look. It's so fun and it's easy. I'm not pressing down very hard at all. In fact, if anything, I just have the lightest of pressure, barely touching the paper when I do this. So now it's time to add a little more yellow and some pinks, oranges, a little bit of red here. I'm using a light red. And when I blended that out, it was so light. So I ended up adding a little more orange to her dress. I wish I would have added a little more red actually. Then you would have had the full spectrum of the rainbow. But this turned out pretty as well. She has so much color. Oh, I love her. So here you can see I'm adding a little more orange, just blending it out, and I'm going to start in on some of the details now. This is probably my favorite because look at how pretty she is. I mean, she's beautiful, but I'm going to make her pop more off the paper. So I'm taking a haze blue color and I'm drawing all around her image, and then I'm just going to blend that out a little bit. This is going to make it seem like she has a little bit of a halo around her because I'm going to do some ink blending as well, but at least directly around this butterfly image, she's going to have a halo. Like she's a little bit angelic. She lights up the room when she comes in. In fact, she's making me smile right now. I love that about colors, how they can really change a mood. And these colors, rainbow colors, you can't go wrong with those. I will just finish drawing that little angelic halo around her here, blend it out just a little bit. And I was going to go in with some darker colors, but then I decided that she needed more of a stormy background. So I'm going to start ink blending here. You can see I've already started a little bit in the corner. I'm going to start ink blending with some blues, then some darker blues, then some even darker blues. And these are Distress Oxides. They blend really beautifully on Bristol paper. And I'm using the domed blending tools, which are among my favorites now. I reach for them all the time. I keep them on my desk actually, and so that I have them right at the ready. And here I'm going with some darker colors, and you can see that where I watercolored, it kind of adds a little more of a halo look effect, which may not be something that you're going for, but for this card, because it was a stormy sky, there's like some storms going on around her, and yet she's staying perfectly calm and happy right in the middle. She could teach me a lesson or two. So that was the look I was really going for. Now here is where I'm going to stamp out the sentiment, and I chose one that says, "With brave wings she flies." And I thought it was perfect for the feeling of this day and this week, and what a week it's been. But I'm using a Stamp-A-Majig here to get it perfectly stamped where I want it on my card. So you can see I just line up the corner there of my stamp, and I leave that there just in case I need to double stamp it, but it's stamped perfectly for me the first time. So I'm going to heat emboss this with some clear embossing powder so that I don't smear that. And some of my background was still a little bit wet, but so I had to wipe off a little extra. So make sure your background is dry if you're going to do any heat embossing. There is our beautiful girl, and now I'm going to start adding the details. But I wanted to read to you some of these sentiments on the sentiment set. It's so cute. Here's one that says, "Never lose hope. Be your own kind of beautiful. May you always be brave enough to fly. Your wings already exist. All you have to do is fly. Just when the caterpillar thought her life was over, she began to fly. Also, without change, there would be no butterflies." I love them. Great sentiments in this set. So here I have a white gel pen, and I am just adding some dots to some of the darker areas of this colored butterfly wings. I found that the white gel pen works really well in the dark areas. I don't know if you can see it very well on the video. I will hold it up a little closer in just a minute so you can see better. but we're going to just add a whole bunch of details and really make her pop. I mean, she was beautiful already, but this is just going to add even more interest, excitement. Oh, I love this. The details really are going to make this card. And you'll see, because I have a lot of details to add. So now I'm going in with a Copic multi-liner, and I'm adding some black dots that go kind of halfway down the wings here. I'm adding some also over some of the white dots that didn't show up very well. And look how cute that detail is. I add some to the center of the little circles here as well. And wherever it looks like it needs a little more interest. I tried to zoom in a lot on this project so you could see what I was doing. And here are some transparent Nuvo drops in this orange color, and then I'm going to do some yellow. So when these dry, these are going to add some more interest and texture to this card. You'll be able to fill the popped up dots on the front when these are dry. So I like adding these, even though they don't add a lot, because they are transparent, they still do add a little bit of interest. Now I'm going to add some darker color to the center of all those flowers so that it distinguishes them a little bit more from her hair. And look how cute. I mean, she's a doll. Just a doll. So there's that, adding just a little bit more here and there. And I'll also add some white dots to that darkness that I just added on those flowers. For the ground, I'm going to do a lot of little polka dots. Now with Zig markers, you don't press hard at all because this is a brush tip marker. And if you press down hard, the brush will just go flat out and splay everywhere. So I am barely touching this paper. And this first color that I'm using is the olive color. And then I used a couple other colors. I used the blush and a couple lighter greens. And here I've also softened it up a little bit with the water brush here, you can see. But that adds a little more interest to the ground, and I wanted more shadow underneath her little feet there, so I'm taking the olive and adding just a few more there right below her foot. And you can see that there's more of a concentration underneath her, so that adds a little more of a shadow. And there is our detail. It's coming out so pretty. I don't know if you can see all of that in the video. I hope you can. But that is the card for today. I hope you enjoyed this project, and I hope you'll give these zigs a try on Bristol paper and adding a lot of detail to your card. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for all the likes and coming back to visit me again and again. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.